All right, greetings. We are here for another term. Unfortunately, we're still online. I wish we were back. I got to see some new students here at the IXL, and I was just like, oh man, I wish we were back at the school. But I wanted to greet you guys for this term and kind of set up some of the policies for the classes going forward, whichever class you're taking with me, and talk about a few things that are repeat, I'm sure, for students that have been here before. There is a few changes that I want to make sure that you know about, and we can get started here and kind of move forward with our classes going forward. The first thing is one thing that has changed. Now, I'll be basic as far as to go back through everything in case you are a new student, but our classes are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, there is no class on Friday. I try to very rarely send out any messages on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But every once in a while, I'll send you like a reminder, or hey, this deadline's coming up, or this test deadline's coming up. So I try to keep those to a minimum, but you will get your class announcements and assignments and all those things that are every day on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those will post at 12:01 in the morning, and then they stay open until 11:59 that night. So, those are the things you're doing each day. Depending on which class you have for me, I know if you have me in a math class, if you're watching in my geometry class right now or one of my math classes, most of the time there are assignments with problems that you do from the videos. I will stress right here, make sure that you watch these videos full. I know some of it is basic and it kind of goes back through, but that's the only way I can get information to you, and so a lot of times missed assignments or missed things that you were supposed to do are in these videos, and either you maybe skip part of it or something, and that will hurt you. So make sure you watch these videos through. But if you have like my music class or my PE class or something, some of those times those assignments will be questions and essay questions and things to answer. So depending on which class you have me for, kind of goes with that. The first kind of change is I have always had for assignments through the whole term, through all 8 weeks, accepted them when you turn them in. Now that is only for your grade, not for attendance. Attendance has to be turned in by that deadline each day for me to count you here, because that's the only way we can count attendance for our sake. And we can't, what we can't have is at the end, someone does all their work at the end and turns everything in at once, and then we say, oh, they were here the whole time. So my attendance has to be turned in by that day for me to count you here. Now, as far as your grade, I will accept it and turn it in. I do take a penalty. Some of you have noticed that have had my class before. If you turn it in late, I do penalize it, a small amount of points, but enough to show, hey, we want to stay up on those deadlines. The reason for that is our classes move so quick that it's not as beneficial if you're doing things late, because sometimes the test reflects that. Meaning if you're not doing the things and keeping up with them, your test sometimes will suffer, because you take the test and it's like, oh, I missed that part of it. And even though I accept the assignments after the test and you'll get those points, it's best if you do the assignments with our time. Now I know there's things that come up, you may miss a day or two, and I promise you those points deductions on those late assignments do not affect you that much. Meaning, if you miss a couple here and there, it's not going to sink your grade. But if it's continual, then it will begin to lower your grade in the way of, wow, I really need to get those in on time so that I can do well on the test. The one change that's happened for this term, and I'm sure you're going to see this in some of your other classes, and it will affect my classes just because I've always accepted things from the beginning of the term, is we are going to have a midterm deadline. So everything from the first day of class up until the midterm, which is 4 weeks in, and I'll be pushing that date when we get closer to it, everything will be due from the first day to that midterm day. So we will have a cutoff point in the middle of the term from everything before the middle. So that means after that midpoint, I will not be accepting any assignments before that. Okay, now then from the midpoint to the final, everything can be turned in from there. And so this it's basically just instead of everything at the very end of the class being due, we will have a midpoint where everything from the first half of class is due, and then going forward from there, we'll have everything due after that. So wanted to point that out, just be watching for that. So that's one extra deadline in there. And you know, that as far as helping your class, that really need to be done in the way of, that way you're not getting to the end of the term and have so many things that you have to turn in that you feel like too much. And so we have made that change. Now, as far as these things, this is not changed. We have an attendance bonus, and I want to go through the test and class work, how that works. And I really want to stress something on this, so I'll start with this, because I've noticed now that we're online, we are running into something, you know, if we were here, I know test day, usually everybody's here and we take the test. Very few will miss the test day. On this, what I'm noticing online is if someone takes a couple extra days or turns it in before the test deadline, but it's a few days late, and I've already put in grades, your grades will drop dramatically, especially at the beginning of the term, if your test is a 0. Okay, and I want to explain that. So basically, for your class and all your classes, your tests are 70% of your grade, and your classwork, for your day-to-day classwork, is 30% of your grade. We've always been that way. That's never changed. That means your tests drive your grade. Now, you know, depending on which class you take, you know, how hard, what you would say hard or easy a test is may differ. But as far as that material and what you need to know, that's what drives your grade, is that test grade. If you, especially at the beginning, let's say you have an A, you've turned in everything, you're like at a 98, you know, and I've seen students be at a 98%, they've turned everything in, maybe one thing they turned in a little late, and they're doing that, and then they missed the first test, and I've graded it, I went ahead and graded it and put the grades in, and you got a 0 for that point. Now, you may still have time to turn it in before the test deadline, but that grade can drop drop way down, almost to like a 20% or something, 22% or something. I'm just making these numbers up. But I've seen it drop like that because, remember, going back to this is the main part of your grade. So if you miss that first test, it drops to where really your homework is only about this much. So I've had students kind of wonder about that, and I know it's just human nature sometimes where you think, oh, I'm doing really good, I may not need to turn that in right away, or I'm doing okay, not realizing that really your grade is just from homework at that point. Now, once you get those first couple tests in, you don't see really that dramatic of a grade drop anymore. But your test will always drop it more than any homework assignment. So I will always stress, never ever leave a test blank. Always go through. Now, I'm not, you know, we still have our deadline of where you have to the following Friday, but you want to make sure you're keeping up with those tests and not, you know, never, you know, taking it and leaving it a 0, okay? So on that test deadline that I keep referencing is, if you take a test, so we have class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, okay, and you take, let's say we give a test on a Tuesday, okay, we give that test, you have until the following Friday to turn that in. Okay, so not this Friday, but the following week, okay? Now, that does not matter when you take the test the week before. So if you take it on a Tuesday, it's due that Friday. If you take the test on a Thursday, it's due this next Friday. Okay, so that it doesn't matter which day of the week you take it here, it's due on the following Friday. After that Friday, I cannot accept, that's a school policy deadline. So that is set in stone. You have to make sure you get your test in before that. On that too with grades, now a lot of times the way I do my classes, especially my math classes, is, you know, we do an assignment and then the next day or a little bit after I give the answers so that you can check your work and you can keep up. With tests, I can't do that until it's the deadline, because I can't post the answers somewhere in here and then someone, oh, well, there's the answers to my test. That'd be nice, right? So just know those tests, I have to wait a little while before I can post the answers. I'll grade them, as soon as I get them in and can grade them here in this week here, but the answers to them, I have to wait till that deadline passes so that students don't have access to that till the deadline passes, okay? Hopefully that covers everything on that aspect, on the grade aspect. And where I'm teaching other classes like music now and PE and lit and film and health and all these other classes besides maybe a math grade, keep in mind that we really want to focus on learning the material and not necessarily getting that perfect A. Now, I encourage you, I admire that when you want to get the best grade, but we really are focusing on making sure that you get your credit and that you get the material you need for the class. So I don't know if they're doing construction outside or what. There's noises. I'm here at the classroom, so that's kind of neat too. So here is that. Now the attendance bonus, okay, if you've taken our classes before, you know about this, but if you haven't, we reward, good attendance, and it's something we started even before we were online. And so if you get to the end, let's say you get to the end of, I'm gonna give a couple different examples because I have to address this usually each term, that way you've seen it before. Let's say you get to the end and you have 82%. And let's say someone gets to the end and they have 97%. And let's say someone gets to the end, they get like a 92%. Let's say I've got these grades here. And we get to the end of the term. And let's say someone had this grade here and they never missed a day, okay? Or they missed only one day and they fit into that 5% extra bonus. I have to create an extra credit assignment at the end of the term, okay? Because I'll use one more grade. Let's say someone has a 74% and they miss like 12 days or something. And I'm using that because if you miss that many days, it's going to be hard to get a high grade. So let's say they miss that many days and they get no bonus. Well, I can't make it a regular assignment because if I give them a 0, it brings their grade down. And this does not penalize you whatsoever. It's only a bonus. So this grade, for it to stay a 74 and not be penalized, I have to make this an extra credit assignment. And you'll see that at the end of the term. So let's say this person only missed a day and they get the full 5%. Whatever the points are, the extra credit to make that happen, I'm very, very careful to make sure you rise up to an 87% for your class, because you get that 5% bonus. And let's say this person only missed a day and they get a 5% bonus. Well, our only cutoff is it cannot put you above 100. Okay, so we have that there, but we can't put any student above 100 with the attendance bonus. So I would give you 3%. I'm not penalizing you, meaning you only get 3 and you get 5. We have to cap you at 100%. So I would give you that percentage you would need to take you to the 100%, and then that's where it caps, okay? And let's say this student got 4%. Maybe they missed a couple days. They missed 2 days. Well, then I would give them the full 4% to take them to a 96%. Okay, so that's how that attendance bonus works. And if you see the days here, this is how it breaks down. So if you miss 0 to 1 days, you get a full 5%. That's the highest you can get. 2 days is 4%. 3 days you get 3%. 4 days you get 2%. If you miss 5 days, you get 1% added. And I've seen this help a student get from like a C to a B. So, just keep that in mind. Now, if you miss more than 5 days, you do not receive an attendance bonus, okay? So I wanted to cover that. Now, as far as, like I said, daily class, you will be getting alerts, as far as, hey, this assignment's been posted. One thing I notice is sometimes if you can imagine, sometimes my announcements are lengthy, and if I'm trying to explain, especially in music class, I found, I was putting several different things about there. I put 2 or 3 videos. I try to keep the videos short. I definitely keep them within the hour and 15 class that the full class time is, and I leave you time to do your work and upload it. But, I'll put 2 or 3 videos, and I'll explain them all. And what I've noticed is on the stream, on the Google Classroom stream, when it first posts, sometimes it will only post part of the announcement. So maybe the first 3 sentences it has, but there's more written that's hidden. So it's been cut off right here on your view, and all this, plus the attachments will be here like the videos. And what I've noticed is sometimes students just read that part of it and then later don't know, like I never saw attachment, I didn't know the rest. Make sure if it looks like it's, now, if it's an announcement that's only a sentence long and you can see the end of it, that's where it ends. But if you see something kind of go for a while and then all of a sudden there's like missing words, or you can click on that and it brings the rest of it down. So every once in a while, if you see a long assignment, make sure you click and see the whole announcement, okay? I've noticed that pop up from time to time. So usually what I do is I have you watch a video. Even in math, it's usually either me teaching or some supplemental videos I find sometimes. And so you'll watch it and then do the problems. That's where it's important to watch the whole video, because I either talk about which problems you're going to do or which questions I want you to answer. And then there will be an assignment that will post on the same morning. So 12:01 this post, 12:01 the assignment post, and that's where you're going to turn in your work. Most of the time I have you take a photo of your work, like if it's notes or where you've done problems, you take the photo, upload it there, and we'll get through that. And I'll post some videos with this one that show you how to do that, and you'll do it that way. Now in music and health and PE, I sometimes will post just a question. And on that question, there's no place to attach a file. So it's not a picture that you're uploading. You are typing in your answer, okay? You're typing in, this is what I think about whatever question you asked, okay? So I do that a lot, especially with music, because we discuss class discussion, and I encourage that in that class so that you can discuss about music, because music appreciation, that's what we're doing. So, okay, so I'm so close to saying, is there any questions out there, even though I'm talking to a video camera? So hopefully that answers your questions of the class and how the structure is. Feel free to always email me any questions that you have. You can private message me questions on that Google Classroom if you go to the people, and then you got stream classwork people. If you go to the people, my name's there. You can email me. You can write private messages on your assignments, so you can say, hey, I wasn't sure about this problem. You can also write on the stream. Just keep in mind everybody sees it. So if you're writing something that you just want the teacher to know, or you have a question that you don't want everybody to know what you were asking, make sure you don't put that on the stream. And so anyway, hopefully that gets you ready. We're excited. We're going to be starting today. I'm going to have you be, like I said, you're going to watch this video and how to upload videos and get the class ready, and then we'll be starting with our lessons. All right, thanks guys.